Commitment. In Scrum, we want everyone to be committed to understanding Scrum and carry it out as good as possible. And when we say that it's the developers who decide how much work to bring into a sprint, we say that we want them to make a forecast on how much they can finish within a sprint, how many items. And sometimes that's referred to as commit to work, decide how much work to bring into the sprint. If we ask the developers to bring things into the sprint, we want them to focus on that and only that. So focus is also a value in Scrum. We want the developers to focus on what is in the sprint backlog and only that. Of course, that's not always going to happen, but it's still good to know about that value. The value is also about being part of only one team at the same time, not working for many teams at the same time. The value that was already mentioned was this. Openness. In Scrum, we want everything to happen in an open matter. We want to visualize our progress. We don't want to hide things away. I'm going to show you a quote that I think is appropriate to show right now. And sometimes in organizations, we may not be inclined to be open, but this quote helps me understanding a little why it's good. It comes from Ron Jeffries, and what Ron Jeffries says is that Scrum doesn't fix your problems. Scrum shows you your problems, and then you are supposed to fix your problems. And how can we our problems be shown if we are not honoring the value of openness? Respect is a value in Scrum. We have different people on the Scrum team: product owner, Scrum master, developers. Developers, they have different competences. Some of them have a design competence. Some of them have a development competence. And some of them, they have testing competence. Other competence may be necessary to have as well. We talk about the Scrum team as cross-functional. It should contain all the competence needed, all the skills needed to build a working product increment each and every sprint. So we want to respect each other. We want to allow everyone to contribute to the success of the Scrum team. And then number 5 is courage. One of these is not more important than the others. And when you listen to other people, they may order them in different ways. I believe this is a good order to talk about them, because courage is probably mostly about the courage to work in a different way, to work according to Scrum, which most likely is different from what we're used to. But not only having the courage to work in a different way, but also having the courage to decide that we believe we can bring this number of items into the sprint and finish them, to make a forecast. Because if we as developers do that, there will be someone holding us accountable to that. And that takes courage. Also, having the courage to work on what is in the sprint backlog only. That means that if we do that, we probably need to say no to other stuff. Because if we focus on this, we cannot focus on that. And that may take some courage to say no to other stuff, especially if it's my boss who's asking me. And then the courage to maintain openness about our progress, about what we have created, about our ways of working. And of course, if everything goes according to plan, it doesn't require much courage to be open. But if we start getting into trouble, we are behind, we're not really sure how we're going to solve things, then it probably takes some courage to be open about that. And then finally, it takes courage to involve everyone, to allow everyone to speak their mind, even though sometimes I may feel like, well, I know everything anyway. Why don't they just listen to me? Because what we have noticed, many of us, is that in a team of people, all of us together are most of the times smarter together than the single smartest individual. So have the courage to involve everyone, even though it feels like it takes a little longer time from time to time. It's actually going to help us in the long run. So 5 values in Scrum: commitment, focus, openness, respect, and courage. These may be a good starting point for deciding upon team values, which may be more than this, but we should remember that these are values within Scrum. Any